Okay, so guys, in this now lecture, I want to tell you very important thing, and this is very useful. You will see in the coming projects, if we ever have to convert the data type, then we can use these constructor functions. Basically, it's a very simple concept, but you should know it. Constructor functions, right? So I'm actually talking about the data type. If you have to convert, right? Now, why you want to convert that we will see. Okay, but first we have to understand this. Okay, so my point is that I want to tell you actually about this int, and I want to tell you about this str and then float. Okay, so these are your constructor functions. Okay, and this is also called the casting. Okay, you should know this the term also, casting. Okay, casting is basically it's a process. It's a process to convert the data type. Okay, convert the data type the way you want, actually, in data type in desired format. Okay, so let me now show you what exactly I mean. Yeah, okay, see, I start with this. Let's say simple term x equals to 3, right? Now I want to print this. What are you going to see when you go and print this? So let me run this. So we should see actually here a simple value which is called 3, isn't it? Which is fine. And anytime if I try to know the type of this, you know that we should see the type as int, isn't it? Right? You can see here there is an int class, correct? Okay. Now, so let me just go and use this x here once again. Okay, let's just run this again. Now, sometimes what happens, suppose you have here 3.5. Okay, now what if I run this? What is going to happen? Let me run this. So obviously you will see 3.5, isn't it? And the type will be float. The class will be float, right? Now, what if you have to convert this into integer? How can you do that? That's the point. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we can say that x equals to int of x, for example, right? Now, what this is going to do? Because you see, int is a data type which can hold whole numbers. I think I told you this, right? In the first chapter, int and float. This is the basic difference, right? Int is used to hold the numbers without decimal, right? So what will happen in this case? Obviously, you will not get the error because after all, 3.5 is also a number, but it is not actually a whole number. So what happens? Int will convert this to a, because you have applied here this the conversion function int, so your number, the decimal, will be removed. Please note this point. Okay, so anytime if I have to do this, I can do that. Okay, we can do that. Right, now one more thing, since we are discussing this, what if I want to show this 3 and this data type in single line? How I can do that? Well, you see, we can use this print. Okay, and then comma, and we can, so I can say that data type is, or class, whatever, and then comma, and then I use this x over here once again. Okay, data type is type of x. You got the point? Can we do that? Right, this is how it is. And then we can use the separator also, which I'm going to use this as a space. This will also give you the all, or I think will give you the customization, the creative, you will be creative with the print statement. It is not always just the simple print statement, but we can do this way also. So first we will have the answer here as 3, because this is the last line which Python will, this PyCharm will execute. So you'll get here 3, and the data type will be, again, then it will be given to you, right? So data type is space and whatever the data type, and then obviously everything will be separated by this space. So there will be a space uh, between that number and the data type. That's the point. Okay, so let's just go and run this, and let's see that. So you see that date 3, and there's a space now. Okay, so instead of the space, maybe I can write, let's say, like this. Okay, let me run this. Yeah, right. So 3 is your answer and data type is integer. Got the point? Okay, so now this is clear. Now, the next example is, so this is fine, right? So let's just quickly go and copy this. Now what happens if you, let's say, if you have been given a number in a text in this way. Okay, let's say this is a data type. Okay, so I'm just going to comment this for the time being. Okay, and I'm going to comment this also. Okay, now you see I got here 3 as a string, right? So data type of the X obviously will be str, isn't it? String. So first of all, let's go and check. You can see here it's a string, right? The moment I insert this line, right, int, then what happens, because actually 3 is a number but it is stored as a text. I told you that numbers can also be, stored as text, but ultimately numbers can be we can bring them back to number format also, okay, by using this int function. So now if you run this, we should see here 3 with data type actually integer, right? Is it clear? Right, please remember one thing, that in so now this data type which we have written, this is a data type called string, right? So if I try to put here a decimal number, and now if I run this program, right, if I run this program and I assume that the integer will now remove the decimal part and the data type will be integer, right, then please remember you can't actually go and deal with a decimal number in the string data type, not otherwise here we were able to convert this. So this is a very important point. Okay, yes, as a whole number if it is there, then you will see that program has executed pretty well. Okay, so I hope this is clear to us. Okay, and obviously I if you this line, I'm not going to cover this. I mean, I'm not going to create a separate paragraph for this. You see, this is 3 now. It doesn't make any sense to change this to integer because this is already an integer. But since we are discussing, so you see that it's always 3. I mean, why will you do that, isn't it? So basically, if you ever have a data which is given to you in the form of a string and it is actually you want to convert that to a number, then you can always use this function. It's pretty useful function. Okay, so there are uh, 3 scenarios. One is that you have a decimal and you can convert this to integer. Decimal will be removed. You cannot have the decimal, okay, if you use int. If you have a number stored as a text, then yes, you can convert it to a number. But if you have a string data type of a decimal number like 3.5, then you cannot use this function. It is not going to convert. Okay, that's the point. All right. Okay, so once this is done, then let's talk about the another one, float. Okay, so float conversion is also it's actually the same way we can do that. So let's say so let's go here and let's just comment this. Okay, so you see, let me just copy this. Yeah, so you see that we have here x as 3. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that, for example, I start with the simple number 3. Okay, and this time I say that, okay, you got to be float. What will happen now? Let's see that. So I'm just going to copy this command and let's go and paste this here. Okay, so this is your basically the command. So if I run this, see what is going to happen. Though the data type is integer, but since you said I want to convert this to a float, so you see 3.0 is coming. 3.0 is coming. Makes sense? So float is for decimal, so decimal will be inserted. Okay, very simple. Again, if I copy this and I paste it here, and let's just select all this using the shift key and control backslash. Okay, okay, now what happens if, let's say, you have here a number like this. Now this is a string. Okay, this is a string data type, but you are using the float. So is this going to work? Let's go and check that. Again, the same result, right? So float can work on this as well. Okay, now what happens if x is actually, now if x is pure decimal number, then obviously we will never go and use the float. Common sense, like this. If the x is like this, we will never use the float. But what happens if you have a float in this way? Let me just insert the hash. Yeah, have a look here. Now what is going to happen in this case? Because last time you saw that when I was using the int, it was not able to give me the results, right? Because of the decimal and the decimal number, which actually was stored as a text. So in this case, we are working with the float, and the x is, though it is a 3.4, it's a decimal value, but the problem is that that it is actually a data type of string, but this is a float. Okay, this is a float, so it's very interesting to see float will work because int was not able to do that. So I'm going to run this, and you see that we have got the number here, right? We have got the number here as 3.4, so this is working, right? So this means that whether you have a number in decimal number, whether you have a in a data type string, or it's actually uh, a whole number, whether that has a data type called string, we can always convert it. We can always convert that, right? This is, I hope, clear. And this obviously, as I said, that if the number itself is a float data type like 2.4, 2.5, and it is not, it is a proper float data type, then you will not use this float. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay, and by the way, guys, I also want to tell you one thing. Pay attention. Though I have written these two steps separately, but you can also write this in this way. For example, let me just copy this, paste it here. You see, I can obviously reduce this line. I can say that, okay, so I want to do this float here. I want to do this float here. Is this okay? Is this fine? Let's go and check that. So let me put the comments here. Yeah, see this now. Okay, let me give you some space. Yeah, so in this way, if I run this program, we should not see any problem. Okay, so we can do that in this way also. Okay, and obviously if your variable has some data, you can use that variable also. Like for example, if I copy this, let's say we have here x2 and there's a x1. Okay, so x1 actually is 4.5, for example. Okay, so let's just again comment this. Yeah, so let's say we have this. Okay, now I want to convert actually this x1, so I can use this x1 also, right? And then we can go and say that, okay, so finally what we are going to get in the x2, right? That's what I want, right? Isn't it? Right? So we can run this, and so what we're going to see is that the float data type, the class data type will be float, and obviously 4.5 will be then a 4.5. It's, I mean, will not have the double quotes, right? So if I run this, let's see that. Yeah, look at this. Okay, now I have a question for you guys. Now, what if I want to see in this print command, what was the data type of x1 and the new data type? Can you do that? Yes. Yes. Yeah, we can write x1. Correct. So we can write here. We can write here like data type data type of x1 variable, for example, like this, right? Is, and then comma, and then this data type should be in this way, right? So I'm just going to use this D capital. Okay, so data type x1 variable is, then you can press the comma and you can say type. I want to see the type and x1, correct or not, right? So we should see here the type, and then there will be a hyphen, and then there will be a x2 value which is going to come. Okay, in fact, so I can write here x1 also. Let's say I want to see the value of the x1 also. So all these lines will be separated by this hyphen sign. Okay, so first we should say 4.5, and in that 4.5, obviously we will have a double quotes, and then the data type should be string, and in then x2 we should have the another line. Okay, so I'm just going to run this. Okay, see that 4.5 data type x1, right? Data type x1 var is this str, and then there is a new line which is starting, right? Right, I know that. Now the next question comes that, can we not have the 4.5 data type, this line actually x2 in the next line? Well, you can have, and which is what I'm going to discuss in the next lecture, right? So there we will talk about the this parameter separator, and also there's another parameter, if you remember, end, which I was telling you in previous lectures, right? So we will have a good amount of detail learning over there. Okay, so finally, guys, I hope you got the point, right? Now the last thing is that, so the last thing is that similarly we have a str function also. Okay, if you guys know VBA, because as I said that I'm a VBA, I have been teaching VBA a lot, so there also we have the functions, but there we basically use the function like cstr just for information. like here you're going to use the str, right? So there you use the cstr. Okay, and same way for the int and the float data type does not exist actually in excel vba. There we have single and double data type. Just for information, please, my apologies if you think that I'm distracting you, but kind of just giving a bit of exposure, okay, bit of knowledge. Okay, anyways, so the last thing is that so we have a string data type. Okay, so string, actually not a data type, but I mean how we can use this str, the the conversion, this the function, right? So how we can convert this? Okay, so let's say I have here a value called x or a equals to, for example, you have here um, a number called 100, for example. Okay, this is a number. Now what if I say that I want to, okay, so let me do this right inside this. So you see that I want to convert this 100, and then I want to show you the type. Okay, so first I will show you the value, and then I will show you the type of a, correct or not, right? And then we will have one separator which is equals to space, right? Okay, now let me go and run this command. Let's see that what is going to happen. Okay, let's go and run this. Yeah, you see that 100 is there, right? And the data type is str. Remember that this is a string. So any point in time, if you have to convert a number to a string, as you know that numbers can be converted into a string, isn't it? Right? Numbers can be a text also, right? But then how you will do that? If you have to do it, if the data is not given to you by somebody in the text format, but then you have to go and convert it. Maybe you want to sort the data in the text format. I don't know if you know this, but if you do this in Excel, go there and write some numbers, right? Like 100, and then okay. So let me be very quick here. So let's just go and open the Excel. I want to show you this. Well, let's have a concept clear. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're going to see this in Excel, but fundamentals are same. You see, uh, I'm trying to answer that. Why would you actually need a number in a text format? See, basically it depends upon the situations, right? Like for example, sometimes if you have to sort the data according to the string format. Like, see, I have a number called 1, and then I have a number called 20, and then 30, and then 222, and then this, and then this. Now, what if I sort this data? What if I sort this data? You know that 1, and then 1 will appear on the top, and then followed by, I think, 20, and then 30, and then what? And then maybe triple one, and then triple two, like that. But what if I change this to a text format? Right? What if I change this to a text format? Now to change this to a text format, I'll just do one thing quickly. So this is not obviously your Excel session, but I just want to show you that, look at this, numbers are moved on the left side. In Excel, if the numbers are moved on the right side, they are numbers. If they are moved on the left side, they are actually now considered as text. Now see, I'm going to sort this B column. Okay, see the magic. So let me first of all copy them and paste value them. Okay, now see this. So obviously this prompt comes and they say that you can convert this to a number anytime. Right now they are stored as text. So let's just go and remove all this. Let me just remove this. Let me prove my point, then we'll switch to the Python. So when I sort this data, you see that I'm going to sort this data in the ascending order, correct? Right? Sort the numbers and the numbers stored as text separately. This prompt always comes if the numbers are stored as text. Otherwise, this prompt never comes because Excel know that how to sort the pure numbers, right? But here Excel says I found some numbers which are not actually number, but they are stored as text. So do you want me to, store them separately? Do you want me to sort them as a text, right? And it also says that if I find here some numbers which are not actually text but numbers, then I will sort them accordingly. But here, since all are stored as text, so let's see what is going to happen. Now this is what I was talking about. Okay, so don't take these functions lightly, that where I'm teaching you how to convert this, because sometimes you really need it, right? Now you see here the pattern is totally changed, the sorting, because first it is going to pick all the ones, and then it will start picking the twos. Doesn't matter how big the number is. By the way, this is not at all number. Okay, this is not at all number. Okay, if you want to do this quickly, the exercise, you can just go and use just go and some write some numbers like this, right? And then convert them into a text using the text format and like this, because I'm not going to give you this Excel copy. Okay, this is a very simple concept, right? And then once you have this, the formula, say that copy and paste value. Paste value means Alt ES, the shortcut key you have to use, or you can go in the home tab also. Okay, and there you will find this, the paste window. Suppose if I copy this in the home tab, I can simply say that paste special, and I can say that I want to use the value and then okay, because that will actually remove the formula. That's the only point. And then you can sort the data. Okay, anyways, so see, these are very important things, right? You never know that where you will actually need these type of things. So here is a point that if you have a number and you want to convert that data type, of that number integer, you want to convert it into, like this, the string, you can always do that. Okay, and obviously, if now let's talk about the decimal number also. So what if I have here, let's say b, and I have here, instead of the, let's say, 100, I have 100.4. Okay, and let me change this to b. Now what do you think, what is going to happen? So if I run this now, see what will happen. Let's just go and run this. So you see that 100.4 again is converted into a string data type. Okay, string class basically. So we can use this str function also to convert the whole numbers as well as the decimal numbers to string data type. And obviously, I don't have to say that if the b is equals to, let's say, apple, for example. Now this is already a string, right? So I don't think so you will be going to convert this to a string, because this is already a string. Okay, but anyways, I mean, if you just want to give a try, you can do that str, and then you will get the same results. Okay, so let's go ahead and in the next lecture, let's meet and talk about the print statement, which is very interesting and also very powerful when it comes to showing the information in different ways. As I was telling you that what do you do if you have to show this particular line in two separate lines, so you should know that. Thank you.